On his way to the office, Sebastian's life changed in an instant when he saw a woman lying unconscious on the side of the road. Without hesitation, he ran to help her, but unexpectedly, his kindness ended up costing him his job. When he returned the next day to clear the table and say goodbye, he did not expect to face a surprise, an unexpected event that would shake his future in a way he never imagined. Hello everyone, welcome to Stories to Heal. Today I am happy to share a new story with you. Don't forget to subscribe and watch to the end. Sebastian is a man in his late 30s who works as a marketer at a marketing startup in his city. Unlike many people who work just to make ends meet, Sebastian loves his job. He has dreamed of becoming a marketer since childhood, inspired by his uncle, Todd, who is successful in the field. Todd has a luxurious home and expensive cars, something Sebastian wants for his family. In addition to being a passionate marketer, Sebastian is also a wonderful husband and father. He has 2 daughters who he loves very much and wants to give them the best life possible. He works hard every day, hoping that one day his luck will change and he will achieve great success. On a bright Monday morning, Sebastian woke up earlier than usual. It was a big day for him, as he had to prepare for an important presentation with one of his biggest clients. After opening his eyes, he immediately got out of bed and took the time to help his wife finish some household chores before really starting the day. He then sat down at the dining room table to enjoy a simple breakfast, then quickly showered and got ready. At exactly 7:30 a.m., he left the house feeling optimistic and ready to face a challenging day. The walk to his office usually took only about 10 minutes, so he was sure to arrive before 8 o'clock, as was his habit. However, that day brought an unexpected incident. As he drove along, his eyes caught the figure of an old woman on the side of the road. The woman seemed to be walking with a limp, and her face showed a clear expression of pain. From the way the woman was holding her chest with trembling hands, Sebastian immediately sensed that something was wrong. At first, he hesitated, his mind filled with the dilemma of whether to stop to help or continue the journey, so as not to be late for the office. When he happened to see the reflection of the woman's face in his car's rearview mirror, a face full of distress and in need of help, his conscience spoke louder. Without thinking, he finally decided to pull over and stop his car. "Madam, are you all right?" Sebastian asked worriedly. The woman could only point to her chest without saying a word. A short time later, she fell unconscious. Without thinking, Sebastian immediately called for an ambulance. Unfortunately, the ambulance never arrived. With the help of a passerby who turned out to be a nurse, they took the woman to the nearest hospital. When they arrived at the hospital, the nurse immediately took the woman to the emergency room. It was then that Sebastian realized he should have been at the office. He checked his phone and found 8 missed calls from his boss and colleagues. It was almost 9 a.m. when he returned to the office. When he arrived at the office, he was immediately greeted by the anger of his boss, Nick. "What the hell is this, Sebastian? Why are you late?" Nick snapped. "I'm so sorry, Nick. I had to help a woman who fainted in the street and take her to the hospital." Sebastian replied. "Was that woman your mother?" "Your wife?" Nick asked. "No, she was a stranger who needed help," Sebastian said confidently. Nick laughed sarcastically. "So you helped a stranger and sacrificed your job? Do you realize that our client left because you didn't show up for the presentation?" "I understand, Nick, but I couldn't let her die in the street," Sebastian said defensively. "Unfortunately, I can't have a careless employee working here." "You're fired," Nick said firmly. Sebastian was shocked and deeply hurt. For years, he had given so much of his time, energy, and thoughts to this company. He had sacrificed for the progress of his workplace, willingly giving up time with his family to make sure everything ran smoothly. Yet it all seemed to mean nothing. Today, with little fanfare, he received a bitter decision. He was simply fired. There was no appreciation, no reward for his hard work, just the bitter reality that he was no longer needed. Without saying much, he got up from his chair, looked around the office that had been a big part of his life, and walked away. With mixed feelings, he walked home, trying to calm himself even though his heart felt so heavy. When he arrived home, his wife immediately greeted him with a caring look. The wife tried to comfort him, assuring him that this was not the end of everything. She said that Sebastian would find a new job and that he was not alone in this situation. Fortunately, Sebastian still had emergency savings that could support him for the next few months. But even though he could survive financially for a while, the emotional burden he felt was much heavier. The day felt so long and agonizing. He spent most of it in silence, lost in deep sadness. He reflected on all the efforts and sacrifices he had made so far, which now felt wasted. That night, with his mind full of fear, he took a glass of drink and sipped it slowly, hoping that the bitterness in his heart would ease a little. But the more he tried to forget what had happened, the more emptiness he felt inside. He felt lost in his own thoughts, wondering why all this was happening to him, if the decisions he had made so far were the right ones, or if they were the beginning of his downfall. The next morning, he returned to the office to get his things. When he arrived, he was surprised by the presence of the woman he had helped yesterday. "You must be Sebastian. I have been waiting for you," the woman said, smiling. How are you?" Sebastian asked happily. "I am well, thanks to you. I came to thank you. If it wasn't for you, I might not be here now," the woman said gratefully. "Of course you're fine. You look healthy," Sebastian replied. "Do you work here?" the woman asked, looking around the office. "Actually, I got fired yesterday for being late," Sebastian said. The woman looked surprised. "Oh my, I'm so sorry. Did you find a new job?" "No," Sebastian replied. "Don't worry. I'll talk to my son. I told him about you, and I'm sure he can help," the woman said. Sebastian didn't expect much, thinking the woman was just trying to cheer him up. But a few days later, he got a call to meet the woman's son. It turned out that the son was a successful businessman who owned a large marketing company, Sebastian's dream company. During the interview, the woman's son said, "My mother was very impressed with your kindness. I believe that people with hearts like yours deserve great opportunities." In an instant, Sebastian found a new job that was much better than before. He was given more freedom and access to achieve his goals. In less than a year, his life changed completely. He now had a much higher income and was able to provide a better life for his family. He bought a bigger house for his family, enrolled his children in the best schools, and was finally able to buy his wife the gift she had always dreamed of. Every day, he became more convinced that good always finds his way back. He now has his dream job, a better work environment, and a great opportunity to grow. Sebastian has learned that although trials can come suddenly, there is a silver lining to every event. Sebastian's story teaches us that doing good may have unexpected consequences, but it often ends in a wonderful blessing. His act of love didn't just save someone's life. It opened the door to greater opportunities. Life often tests us, but genuine kindness always finds its way back to us. And sometimes losing something is just a pathway to something bigger and better in life. Enjoyed this story? Click like and subscribe for more stories, and share your thoughts in the comment section.